Hello, Kirby families. Today we are talking about the algebraic notation method. This is the method that the kiddos learned in school today, another way of learning how to multiply. It will be on tonight's homework, so I just wanted to make sure I jumped on here real quick to explain it because, again, it looks a little wonky. What's great about this method is it's very, very similar to the area model method that we talked about yesterday or a couple days ago. They're very similar. In fact, there's no new concepts with this algebraic notation method. It's just a different way of writing it. So let's go ahead and do this problem. I'm doing 8 times 62. So if I'm looking at my area model before, remember we have our 8 is on one side, and I've used this expanded notation to separate 62 into more manageable bites. I expanded it to 60 and 2. 60 plus 2 is still 62. And again, real quick, I just got this 60 from a 6 in my tens place and a 2 in my ones place. So that's where I got my pieces. And before, we were going to find the area of this chunk, that 8 times 60 to find this piece, and then the area of this chunk, that's still 8 times 2. Put those two partial products together to get my grand product of what 8 times 62 is. So instead of just doing the area model today, we're just going to write it a little bit differently. The difference is instead of writing my partial products over here in a box, I'm going to be writing them in more of an equation format. So it's still the same numbers, 8 times 62. Notice I just read it. Oh, that's the other thing. We get a fancy dot instead of our traditional X for multiplying. So I'm doing 8 times, that's what that lovely dot means, 62. And I just have factored it out on this side of my equation. So this 8 is the same that was on my short side. And my 60 plus 2, it's still in that expanded notation, which was the same that was on top of my box before. That's why I wrote them in those colors. And just like we did before when I multiplied 8 by 60, I'm going to do that over here. I'm going to multiply my 8 times what was in my tens place, and that is 400. I'm going to put my little equal sign. 480. And if kiddos remember, if I'm looking, 8 times 6 is 48. Add that 0 in. And just like I came over here and multiplied 8 times 2, I'm going to do the same thing over here. 8 times 2 is 16. Those are partial products though, and just like I added them here, I'm going to add them over here as well. And when I add 480 plus 16, I'm going to get 496. So that is the answer. You could have gotten it the same way if you had just done the area model and found the partial products and added them together. But again, this is just a different way of writing it. So not something completely brand new, just a new way of taking it down, writing it down. Okay? If you have any questions about that, don't hesitate to ask. Let me know if you need anything else. Have a great day.